This is a simplified pre-flight video for a Sport 3. Now the manual says, basically if you look at it, it says to check every single fastener, every nut, all kinds of things every time. But the problem with that is if you start doing that, most of that stuff is not going to just come loose on its own. And so you end up glossing over stuff and going too fast to try to finish it up and missing the most important things. So what I'm doing here is just showing the most important things that could happen on its own just a result of regular flying or transport, or after a couple things like changing a down tube or hang loop.
It's a good idea to do the full procedure anytime where it's somebody else's glider, or you just acquired a glider, or you changed out some parts or took the sail off, especially for a full inspection, or did some other work on the glider with tools, or even just every once in a while when you have some time. This simplified pre-flight should only take about 3 minutes, but it's taken me longer to explain everything.
So what I like to do is start in here at the apex and check all that stuff and work my way down, and then I'll go around the glider, around the back, around this side, and I'll finish up at the nose. So first thing in here, let's just check, make sure the VG ropes look straight. They're not wrapped around anything the wrong way. They're not hanging up on anything. If you look at it enough times, you'll be able to tell. And this nut at the bottom of the king post, you see there right in the middle, it's still attached. That could potentially come loose from the king post swiveling around. If it's a nut that's been reused enough times, the bracket swiveling around and backing the nut out. These safety rings are still attached. If you change your down tube, forget to put those on, would be bad, or something could catch a ring and start pulling it out. That doesn't usually happen though. Down tubes don't have any dings in it. Maybe you hit your helmet against it and they look reasonably straight. Moving down to the bottom here, this pin is fully seated. This ring is still in too. Again, if you change the down tube, since that happens often enough for some people. Check the VG system just by pulling it, make sure it retracts, everything feels smooth. That's just a good test overall of the VG system. Check everything the same way on the left side. And then as far as the wires go, the side wires, if you did change the down tube, you broke one. If the down tube breaks and bends out this way, you could potentially smash this tang in between this fitting and this fitting. So if that did happen, just feel along it, make sure this feels straight, there's no dimple in it. And every time anyway, just feel the side wire, make sure there's no loose strands coming out and poking you. If anything pokes you, that's really bad. One came loose and you don't want to fly it like that. And you don't see any kinks in the wires. These wires, you can't really check except to see this, this pin is still going through them, but you can just put a little pressure on them, make sure they're not about to pop out, like you didn't put the pin through one of the wire thimbles as you were replacing a down tube. And then just as a general side wire test, just step on it a little bit with, don't lean into it hard or anything, just a little more than the weight of your leg, I guess I like to say, and press on the leading edge upwards as you do it. You'll get enough pounds of pressure to pop anything out if something's about to fail. In here, that white cap nut is still on there, meaning the nut underneath is still on, and the tang is pointed about the right direction. It's not swiveled around 180 degrees for some reason when you folded the glider up. And all around the sail, as you go around the whole thing, I won't keep repeating it, but just keep looking at the sail, make sure there's no tears anything really worrisome on it that needs attention right away. On the undersurface, the two undersurface battens are in all the way and tucked into the sleeve. Sprog zipper zipped up all the way. I just actually set the Velcro on this undersurface here as I'm doing the pre-flight. I don't usually do it before, but this is a chance to do that. Make sure the Velcro feels all straight underneath. Check, of course, make sure these are on. Speed ribs and all the rest of the battens are attached. The flip tip didn't break, or it's not flipped up. This has spring in it still, so the bridle lines are not going to pop out. I don't know what this is. The nut is still on here. This could potentially, if you reuse the nut, there's swivel in the hang loop and you could start backing that out. These tangs are on here, secured, and importantly, this button is coming up to secure it. Move these up just so you don't lose them. And same thing on the right side. Check all the battens the same way. Velcro on this end. And everything else we did on the undersurface, sprogs and the battens, and of course the side wire, everything, all the same things on that. And so finishing up at the nose, you're going to need to pull it down. This is a good chance to look at the top surface of your glider to make sure everything looks symmetrical, including the leading edges look like they have about the same curve in them, so that the leading edge is not broken, and the trailing edge is coming up at the same points on both sides. It looks pretty symmetrical. That's just a good overall test that you don't have any assembly errors. And then before you put it down, your nose batten is in. And before you put your nose cone on, just make sure these screws here are in all the way. They can back out because there's usually not Loctite on them. And this looks pretty bad here. That's why we do a pre-flight. See, this thing is not coming out all the way. Let's see if I can. I don't know what's going on there. There we are. I guess I'll tell the owner. And hopefully I remember to tell him. Put the nose cone on.
The center zipper is zipped all the way.
And it's the final step. When I'm all done, I just pat the nose so I know I finished. That's for a Sport 3.